Welcome to the 2026 All-in-One System Rescue Toolkit overview. I'm Paul, and let's go ahead and get started. I've got a flash drive set up with the All-in-One System Rescue Toolkit, and we're going to go ahead and launch it and explore some of the features. The toolkit comes in three flavors. We have the Community Edition, which is free for everybody. All the tools in the toolkit work fully functional with the Community Edition. The Supporter Edition gives you automation features with autoFIX as well as theming, and the Professional Edition allows you to brand the desktop with your own branding. You can name it whatever you want, use your own splash screen and your own desktop background. When you first start up the toolkit, you're going to have a desktop background info here. This is the same as the System Info tab. You're also going to have the ability to set the language. It should automatically detect the language that the system is using. You have a quick button to get to the log files here, and I will talk about the unified logging later. The log files can also be found on the user's desktop. It's the same thing. Down below, we have quick troubleshooting icons for CPU, RAM, and hard drive, as well as the download and upload of the current internet connection. Under the General tab, we have Verify Toolkit Integrity, a file manager that runs as system or root, depending on Windows, Mac, or Linux. You can listen to music. You can reboot into safe mode. There's a game in case you don't have internet connectivity. Task Manager will run the native Task Manager. System Analyzer from WebRoot will show you problems on the system according to WebRoot. The Terminal button will launch the native System Terminal application. The Assistant is an offline chatbot. It does not have access to the internet. It does not have access to system resources. It is a helpful guide for when you're stuck and you need a second opinion. It is not a replacement for a technician. You can also do a Whois domain lookup from the General tab. Let's take a look at the Hardware tab. You can run a dead pixel test, view the devices on the system with the native Device Manager. This will run a short CPU stress test and monitor the temperatures to see if the system crashes or overheats. You can run the native disk management application. Memory test, also hardware monitor sensors. This shows you temperature for CPU, GPU, and other components. You can run hard drive tests, view the resource monitor on the system, analyze the disk space, and figure out what is taking up hard drive space, and perform secure erase only under Linux. Under operating system, we have a crash viewer to look at kernel panics and other system crashes. We can check system packages, which is running the dism command on Windows and the equivalents on Mac and Linux. Reliability Monitor is a Windows utility. Check the system files. This is SFC Scan Now on Windows and the equivalent on Mac and Linux. View the startup applications on the current system. You can reset the Windows update or app or yum or other package manager updates if there's a problem with updates. Run the native uninstall application utility on the system. For Windows, the registry editor. You can repair icons for the current file manager. On Windows, that would be Explorer. And on Windows, you can load a system restore point. Let's take a look at the Utilities tab. We have Disk Cleanup, clears out temporary and cache files, as well as runs the Disk Cleanup utility on Windows. On Mac and Linux, it runs similar features. An unstoppable file copier that goes folder to folder and copies everything. It will try a few times before moving on if there's a file that's stuck for whatever reason, and it'll give you a report at the end. You can defragment the system drive on Windows. Ventoy allows you to create a bootable USB from ISO. This is the official supported method for building a flash drive of the All-in-One System Rescue Toolkit. The Keep Awake utility will let you keep the computer and screen awake, so in case you're trying to monitor something. Under Linux or the live environment, Clone Disk is Clonezilla, and it allows you to clone disks. There's a minimal rescue browser built into the system, so you can get access to the internet, do research, or download utilities if needed. The Test Disk and PhotoRec suite allow you to recover data in partitions, and you can view sleep and wake info on the current system. Let's move on to the Networking tab. You can run an Ookla speed test. Multi-terminal allows you to connect to SSH Telnet or serial COM port devices. You can run a network discovery, view open ports on the current system, analyze Wi-Fi signal, 2.4, 5, and 6 gigahertz spectrums. You can view any open shared files on the current system. You can reset the network stack. You can run a ping test to continuously monitor for connectivity. You can run the native firewall application and query TCP and UDP ports. Clam Antivirus is an open source antivirus engine. This works on Windows, Mac, and Linux as a custom tool built around the Clam AV engine. You can download the iCar antivirus test file to test the antivirus on the system. Run Microsoft Safety Scanner to scan for threats. malicious software removal tool, another Microsoft tool to scan for threats. Norton Power Eraser, also scan for threats. You can open the native security center on the system. Komodo Cleaning Essentials is another threat scanning utility. Virus Total Analyzer allows you to analyze suspicious files or URLs against several known antivirus engines, and an online scanner from ESET to scan for threats. Let's take a look at antivirus removal tools. Under the antivirus removal tool tab, we have removal tool links for several of the popular antivirus software suites. autoFIX is a supporter edition and above feature. It allows you to chain up several commands and hit start autoFIX. It'll continue to run through those commands until it's completed. So it automates the process if you're doing system diagnostics or repair in bulk. And on the Customize tab, we have access to Patreon and Discord communities. You can also customize the toolkit if you have Supporter Edition or Professional Edition. So taking a look at the toolkit on a flash drive, because it is writable, we have the ability to cache files. So as we use the tools in the toolkit, it's going to pre-download anything that we need and put it in this cache folder so that you can use it offline. If you do not run it from USB, if you're running it from a DVD, or if you're running it from ISO, you will not have the ability to cache. It will download the tools every time. We also have a config.aio file here. This allows the toolkit to save your Patreon login information so that you can easily access those features without having to log in every time. So now we're going to take a look at the unified logging. So every tool in the toolkit that I've made, the ones that are not made by other vendors, do support the unified logging and will have individual logs. And then we have a main AIO SRT events log. This is the log for the entire toolkit, and it shows everything that was run in the order that was run, and even the commands that were run against the operating system. So for example, when you first start it up, it runs a PowerShell script that creates a system restore point on Windows, and you can see that that was run here. So now we're going to take a look at the all-in-one System Rescue Toolkit live environment. We are booting off of the same flash drive that we were using earlier, and we'll take a look at the Linux environment. Okay, so the live environment is very similar. In this case, we're booting out of a VirtualBox virtual machine, but we get a desktop background. We have the same tabs. We have the same troubleshooting icons. However, it's a little bit different here because we're in a different environment. Some of the items that are available in Windows or Mac only are not going to be available here because this is Linux. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys something that was not available on Windows but is available under the Linux environment, the secure erase feature. You can pick the storage media that you want to erase. You can pick the compliance standard that you want to adhere to, or just generic. For this example, let's use HIPAA high-tech, and then the secure erase method that you would like to use. We'll notice down here we get the language used by the compliance, and we can create a certificate. So that's the secure erase utility. The other one that is not available on Windows is the hard drive clone, which is simply Clonezilla. That is an overview of the toolkit. I am planning on creating additional videos where I go through how to perform tasks such as diagnostics on systems and how to use these features such as the supporter and community edition features. Thank you all for your interest in the all-in-one System Rescue Toolkit 2026 version. This has been several years overdue. It has been a monumental effort to bring you all this version. I took a lot of time converting from the old language, which was AutoHotkey, into Python. Python allowed me to create a Windows, Mac, and Linux executable, so we can see the toolkit working on Windows, Mac, and Linux now.